Have you ever wondered what it would be like to travel the vast seas centuries ago armed with only the strength and determination of a Viking warrior? If you have, then you're in the right place. Today, we're going to embark on an incredible journey exploring the remarkable world of the Viking Longships. The Vikings, the legendary Norse seafarers, were not just fearsome warriors and raiders. They were also extraordinary sailors and traders with a reputation that extended far beyond their homeland. Their exceptional seafaring skills, coupled with their indomitable spirit, allowed them to journey across vast distances. They explored uncharted territories, established thriving settlements, and traded a variety of goods across the known world. The key to their success? The Viking Longship, a marvel of maritime technology. These ships were the backbone of Viking exploration and expansion. Their mastery of the seas allowed them to voyage across vast distances, exploring new lands, establishing settlements, and trading goods far and wide. The Viking Longship was the ultimate vessel of its time, meticulously designed to withstand the treacherous waters and offer the Vikings an advantage in battle. These were not just ships, they were masterpieces of naval architecture, marrying form and function in a way that was unrivaled in the Dark Ages. Longships were the product of centuries of design evolution, born out of necessity and the harsh realities of the Scandinavian environment. They were built from high-quality timber, often oak, chosen for its strength and durability. The Vikings were skilled craftsmen, and the construction of a longship was a task that required precision, skill, and a deep understanding of the sea. The hull of a Viking longship was slender and streamlined, a design that enabled it to cut through the water with ease, reducing drag and increasing speed. The hull was constructed using a technique known as clinker built, where overlapping planks of timber were riveted together. This method gave the hull both flexibility and strength, allowing it to withstand the impact of waves without breaking. At the heart of the longship's design was its shallow draft. Unlike many other vessels of the time, Viking longships were designed to sit low in the water, a feature that gave them a significant advantage. This shallow draft allowed the Vikings to navigate not only the open ocean, but also shallow rivers and even land. They could sail up rivers, deep into enemy territory, and launch surprise attacks. They could even drag their ships over land, bypassing obstacles and reaching areas otherwise inaccessible. The use of high-quality timber in the construction of the longships was another key component of their design. The Vikings valued the natural resources at their disposal and understood the importance of using the right materials for the job. The timber they chose was resilient, capable of withstanding the harsh conditions of the sea, and yet flexible enough to absorb the impact of the waves, reducing the risk of damage and ensuring the longevity of their vessels. These mighty ships were crafted with the finest timber, boasting slender, streamlined hulls and a shallow draft for maximum maneuverability. The Viking longship was a feat of engineering, a symbol of the Vikings' seafaring prowess and their ability to adapt to their environment. It was, without a doubt, a vessel worthy of the masters of the seas. A key element that made Viking longships so formidable was their innovative use of oars. Oars played a pivotal role in the maneuverability and speed of these vessels. They were not merely tools for propulsion, but weapons in the hands of the Viking warriors, their rhythmic strokes echoing the heartbeat of the ship itself. Now, imagine a typical Viking longship. It's long, slender, and there are rows of oars on either side. The oarsmen, all robust and skilled, sit ready at their posts. Each oar is operated by one man, and the success of the voyage relies heavily on their ability to work together in perfect harmony. The oars of a Viking longship were not fixed. They could be lifted or lowered as needed, giving the Vikings the flexibility to adapt to different water conditions. In calm waters, the oarsmen could increase the ship's speed by rowing more forcefully. In choppy seas, they could lift the oars to prevent them from being damaged. Working together, the oarsmen could change the ship's direction swiftly and accurately. They could make the ship turn on a dime or stop it dead in its tracks. This ability to react quickly to changing circumstances gave the Vikings a significant advantage during raids and naval battles. It allowed them to outmaneuver their enemies, seize control of the situation, and dictate the terms of engagement. In addition, the use of oars made the Viking longships versatile. They could navigate in shallow waters where larger, sail-powered ships couldn't. They could row upstream against the current or silently approach a target under the cover of darkness. The oars also played a crucial role during combat. The Vikings could increase their speed to ram enemy ships or rapidly retreat if the battle turned against them. They could circle around their opponents, creating confusion and chaos, and then strike when least expected. So the next time you see a depiction of a Viking longship, remember the significant role the oars played. It wasn't just about brute strength, but also about precision, coordination, and tactical thinking. This made them practically unstoppable in both raids and naval battles. Let's take a deeper look at the anatomy of a Viking longship. These formidable vessels were built with both function and symbolism in mind. At the bow or the front of the ship, we find the distinctive dragon or serpent head, carved with intricate detail and often gilded. This figurehead was not just a decorative element. It was believed to possess protective powers, warding off evil spirits and sea monsters. More than that, this fierce figurehead struck fear into the hearts of enemies, signaling danger and imminent doom. Moving along, we come to the hull of the ship. This was the heart of the longship, providing both strength and buoyancy. Constructed from overlapping planks of sturdy oak or pine, the hull was both flexible and robust, enabling the ship to withstand the harsh conditions of the North Atlantic. In the center of the ship, we find the mast and sail. The mast, usually made of a single tall piece of timber, supported the sail. The sail, made of woven wool, was dyed in bold colors and featured a square shape. This allowed the Vikings to harness the power of the wind, propelling their vessels forward. With a single square sail, the Vikings could travel vast distances, even when the oarsmen needed a break or during long journeys. Towards the stern or back of the ship, the steering oar was located. This large paddle, mounted on the starboard or right side of the ship, was used to navigate and steer the vessel. And let's not forget the shields. Along the sides of the Viking longship, brightly painted wooden shields were often hung. These served a dual purpose. They were easily accessible for warriors in the heat of battle, and they also added an extra layer of protection to the ship. With each component playing a pivotal role, the Viking longship was a marvel of naval engineering. It was this ingenious design that allowed the Vikings to dominate the seas, becoming masters of exploration, trade, and warfare. With a single square sail, the Vikings could harness the power of the wind, propelling their vessels forward, even when the oarsmen needed a break or during long journeys. But the true strength of Viking longships lay in their versatility. These vessels were marvels of design and engineering, demonstrating a remarkable balance between form and function. They were not just instruments of sea travel, they were also versatile tools for exploration, trade, and warfare. The Vikings, known for their audacity and bravery, used their longships in ways that were far beyond the conventional. They were not restricted to the open seas. They ventured into rivers and estuaries, reaching deep into the territories of their enemies. The longship's shallow draft, paired with the strength and coordination of the Viking rowers, allowed these vessels to navigate through waters too shallow for other ships of the time. Moreover, this shallow draft gave the Vikings a significant tactical advantage. They could approach their targets stealthily, often under the cover of darkness or fog, and launch surprise attacks. The speed and maneuverability of their longships were key to their infamous hit-and-run tactics. But the versatility of the longships didn't end with their ability to traverse both deep and shallow waters. These ships were also designed to be dragged over land. This feature, known as portage, allowed the Vikings to bypass obstacles like rapids, waterfalls, or even hostile territories. They could transport their ships overland from one river system to another, effectively turning inland regions into navigable waterways. Imagine the shock and awe of their enemies when a fleet of Viking longships suddenly appeared on their shores or rivers, seemingly out of nowhere. This ability to launch unexpected attacks from both sea and land made the Vikings a formidable force to reckon with. So, the Viking longship was not just a ship. It was a strategic weapon, a tool of exploration, and a symbol of Viking prowess and ingenuity. It was the vehicle that carried the Vikings far beyond their Scandinavian homelands, helping them to carve out an enduring place in history. With a shallow draft, the Vikings could navigate rivers and even portage their ships when necessary, surprising their enemies with unexpected attacks. Archaeological discoveries and meticulous reconstructions have shed light on the impressive craftsmanship and intricate details that adorned Viking longships. These remnants from the past reveal a society deeply intertwined with the sea, their livelihoods dependent on these versatile vessels. From ornate carvings and colorful shields to the remnants of storage compartments and sleeping quarters, each artifact echoes the intricate lifestyle of the Viking seafarers. In the present day, this legacy lives on through painstakingly crafted replicas of these formidable vessels. These modern-day Viking longships, built using traditional techniques, continue to grace the seas, their dragon-headed prows cutting through the waves just as they did over 1,000 years ago. These majestic vessels serve as a living tribute to the seafaring skills of the Vikings and offer a unique opportunity to step back in time and appreciate the legacy they left behind.